Animals fall in and come out cooked. Usually boiling water means volcanoes, lava, geothermal vents, visible heat. But deep in the rainforest, there is a river that boils without any of that. No lava nearby, no eruption, no warning signs. Just water hot enough to kill by temperature alone. Hidden beneath dense forest canopy flows the Shanai Tempishka, a river heated not by magma at the surface, but by geothermal systems buried deep underground. Temperatures reach near boiling levels across long stretches. Anything that falls in is cooked alive. This isn't folklore, it's documented geology behaving in ways that feel impossible. And it forces a disturbing question. How many deadly systems exist simply because we don't expect them? The river runs for kilometers at temperatures high enough to destroy living tissue in seconds. Small animals die almost immediately, shock, burns, organ failure occurring faster than panic can register. Larger animals last longer, but not by much. Internal temperatures rise faster than the body can compensate. Proteins denature, cells rupture, blood chemistry collapses. The water steams. The banks are green. Plants grow right to the edge. Birds land nearby. Insects skim the surface. From a distance, it looks peaceful, almost inviting. There is no roar, no bubbling, no violent spray, nothing that signals urgency, and that is what makes it lethal. People who encounter the river often underestimate it. Some step closer out of curiosity. Some touch the water briefly, assuming heat announces itself slowly. The mistake is always the same. They assume they will feel danger before danger feels them. They don't. The water doesn't boil explosively, it doesn't hiss, it doesn't glow. It simply transfers heat relentlessly, efficiently, until the body fails. We associate extreme heat with spectacle. Fire crackles, lava glows, explosions announce themselves. Heat in our minds is loud, but this river violates that expectation completely. There is no warning curve, no gradual escalation. The temperature is already beyond survivable thresholds before contact occurs. The danger is not dramatic, it is continuous, silent. We trust calm environments, still water, green surroundings, natural symmetry. Our instincts tell us that violence leaves scars on landscapes, but this landscape looks healthy, alive, which is precisely why it deceives. The river's heat does not come from magma or volcanic activity. It comes from depth. Beneath the surface, deep fractures in the Earth's crust allow groundwater to circulate far below the ground we walk on. As the water descends, pressure increases, temperature rises. Not because of fire, but because the planet itself is hot. Earth leaks energy constantly. The deeper water travels, the more heat it absorbs from geothermal gradients, heat radiating upward from Earth's interior. Once superheated, the water doesn't explode back to the surface. It rises quietly, guided by the same fractures that pulled it down. When it emerges, it remains confined within a river channel, continuously replenished by circulation below. No volcano, no eruption, just a stable system delivering lethal heat second after second. The river does not cool because the source never stops. This river doesn't kill by aggression, it kills by availability. The danger isn't hidden, it's exposed, flowing, accessible, integrated into the landscape like any other river. It teaches an uncomfortable lesson. Not all threats announce themselves, not all lethal systems are unstable, and not all danger looks hostile. Sometimes the most dangerous environments are the ones that appear perfectly alive. Animals that fall into the river do not drown. They remain conscious briefly. They struggle ineffectively. And then their bodies begin to fail from the inside. The damage begins immediately at the cellular level. Internal temperature spikes beyond survivable limits within seconds. Proteins lose their structure. Blood chemistry destabilizes. Electrical signals in nerves misfire and collapse. The nervous system shuts down not from oxygen deprivation, but from heat overwhelming every control system at once. Muscle coordination disappears. Panic does not have time to form into strategy. Even powerful animals cannot fight physics. Movement slows as enzymes stop working. Death follows quickly, not because the body cannot breathe, but because it cannot function. Once immersion occurs, there is no recovery window. The heat transfer is too efficient, the exposure too complete. The river does not grant partial survival. It does not wound, it finishes. Rivers are supposed to kill by drowning. That assumption is deeply embedded in how we understand water as a threat. Airway obstruction, oxygen deprivation, a slow countdown measured in seconds and panic. This river ignores that entire script. Here, breath never becomes the limiting factor. The body fails long before oxygen levels drop. Consciousness fades not from hypoxia, but from systemic collapse. The danger is not inhalation, it is contact. Temperature alone is enough. This violates our most basic safety instincts. In this environment, breathing is irrelevant. Extreme heat causes what biologists call thermal shock, a rapid, catastrophic breakdown of biological stability. Cells are not built to tolerate sudden temperature extremes. Their membranes lose integrity. Fluids leak across boundaries that normally maintain order. Structural proteins unfold and tangle. Enzymes, responsible for every chemical reaction in the body, stop working once their shape is altered. Metabolism collapses in real time. The body's cooling systems, sweating, blood redistribution, respiration, are useless. They evolved to handle gradual heat exposure, not total immersion in superheated water. This is not burning. There are no flames, no charring, no ignition. This is cooking. The same physics that turns raw protein opaque under heat operates here. They do not suffocate, they do not poison, they do not crush. They simply overwhelm the conditions required for life to continue. It is a reminder that survival is not guaranteed by breath alone. Sometimes the body fails because the environment makes biology itself impossible, and by the time pain registers, the outcome is already sealed. The river has existed for generations, long enough for the landscape to accept it, long enough for animals to learn. Wildlife adapts first. Animals do not approach the water to drink. Migration paths bend subtly away from the banks. Predators hunt nearby but never enter. The river becomes a boundary, invisible but absolute. Humans who grow up near it treat it the same way. They know where not to step. They don't test it. But the river does not protect against ignorance. Outsiders arrive without context. Tourists, researchers. They see a calm river surrounded by healthy forest and assume safety. The river does not distinguish between experience and curiosity. It only applies physics. And when knowledge is absent, the river becomes a trap. We expect danger zones to advertise themselves: scorched ground, dead vegetation, signs of destruction radiating outward. But this river violates that expectation completely. Life thrives right up to the edge. Trees grow dense and tall. Moss spreads across rocks. The ecosystem does not recoil. It flourishes. There is no buffer zone, no gradual warning. The boundary between life and death is measured in centimeters. This contradicts our belief that lethal environments must damage everything around them. Here, nature does the opposite. It hides the threat inside normality. The heat remains confined to the water. That is the deception. Thermal energy is constantly replenished from below, but it does not radiate outward far enough to damage the surrounding environment. Soil remains cool, roots are unaffected, air temperatures stay stable. The river becomes a closed system, hot, lethal, and self-contained. To the forest, it is just another river. To biology, it is an execution surface. The contrast sharpens the illusion of safety. Green growth suggests balance. Balance suggests stability. Stability suggests harmlessness. But the danger was never meant to spread. It was meant to persist. This river reveals something unsettling about nature. Danger does not need to dominate a landscape to be absolute. It does not need to spread to be effective. It does not need chaos to kill. Nature can localize threat with surgical precision. A single channel, a narrow boundary, a perfectly stable system that punishes the uninformed without warning. The river doesn't hunt, it waits, and it will continue to wait, long after stories fade, long after memories fail, ready for the next living thing that mistakes calm for safety. Geothermal systems like this exist across the planet. Most never reach the surface. They remain buried, contained by pressure, rock, and time. But stability is not permanence. A shift in groundwater flow, a fracture opening by centimeters, a change at the surface, and a harmless landscape can reroute planetary heat into places life was never meant to touch. No eruption, no disaster headline, just a new lethal environment forming quietly. We expect danger to announce itself, to roar, to glow, to destroy everything nearby. But Earth doesn't always kill through chaos. Sometimes it kills through balance. When heat is guided instead of released, when pressure is managed instead of explosive, ordinary water becomes a weapon, without fire, without warning, without spectacle. If a river can cook without flames, then safety isn't about what you recognize, because sometimes the most dangerous places on Earth look exactly like the ones you trust.